So by owning a Pacific franchise, there's really 6 main things or services that Pacific is going to provide to you, our franchise owner. So I'm gonna go over those 6 things in this video. All right, so the first thing we're gonna go over in this video is the scheduling and customer services that you're gonna get as a Pacific Lawn Sprinklers franchise owner. So the biggest thing with scheduling that you need to understand is you do not need to hire an office staff, fire an office staff, pay an office staff directly. Everything is done through our services. So we have a team of about 45 reps, okay? So we have 45 customer service reps who are completely trained, monitored, hired, fired, paid, anything you can imagine. We take care of all that stuff on the back end for you, so you do not need an office staff. We will have this team handle all of the scheduling that comes in. So if you're in Jacksonville, Florida, customer calls in, they need an irrigation service, it comes into our call center, our reps handle it, they put it on your schedule, and you go out there. You do not need to do anything in terms of keeping track of that, dealing with the customer on the phone, training an office staff what to say, you know, where you're gonna go. On irrigation, we train them on irrigation, lighting, you know, landscape lighting, drainage, any type of those services. We have call scripts set up for each of those services. When customers call in, we sound very professional, we're very organized. By taking a Pacific franchise, you just went from you're one person by yourself to having a team of 45 people working behind you. So that's just one part of this whole thing. So aside from the 45 reps, like I said, we're all trained and everything, but they don't just put random things on your schedule. Okay, so there's kind of 2 separate parts of the whole scheduling and all that. So you have your most basic part, okay, is basically, like I said, they're just gonna answer the phones, they're gonna answer any emails, they're gonna answer any live chats or messages that come in through our website. That system's worked for us for a very long time, and you get that as Pacific franchise. So that's kind of the basic end of it, the phone calls, the scheduling. The more advanced end of it, okay, advanced. So advanced meaning we're going to monitor your schedule for the most efficiency and basically try and maximize the dollars that you can produce in a day. So we're not just gonna have you running from city to city all over and not be profitable. Everything is completely, you know, put into our software, which is there to optimize your routes for the day, save you time, get home a little earlier, spend some time with your family, instead of sitting there trying to map out all this crazy stuff and you know, be driving all over town, just wasting time. So there's a complete like efficiency, call it, team behind this that's constantly watching your schedule and trying to maximize everything that you do out there on the back end. So again, it's all built really for you to be as fast as possible and make as much money, of course, as possible. So scheduling, customer service. So obviously we need to talk about the customer relations. Customers, okay? So, like we said, it's not just a random person answering the phone who doesn't know anything about irrigation or how to take a phone call. We spend years, hours, days, online training, in-person training, everything for these customer service representatives. They know exactly what to say and how to deal with customers. So reviews are gonna drive your business, and that's what separates Pacific from, say, if you're just starting on your own. If a customer is looking for irrigation service and they type into Google irrigation, Pacific's gonna come up with thousands of reviews. If you start your own business, you're gonna come up with no reviews. You might not even come up at all. So that's the whole point of the customer relations, is we're constantly keeping and setting those high standards so that more customers come in and essentially, you know, wind up paying you and your franchise for the work that you provide. Right, so on each section of this video, I want to basically put together a rough value or a rough estimate of what we think that something like this would cost you if you were going out and trying to do it on your own, or maybe you're already in it on your own. You know, what's a rough number that having something like this, a team of 45 people behind you, doing things like monitoring your schedule and making it as efficient as possible and on a day-to-day basis, and handling customer complaints and things like that. You know, what would something like that cost you to have a team like that? So you're probably saying, well, I don't need a team of 45 people. Like, I'm just working in, you know, my small town or whatever it is. And I can understand, you know, why you would think that. Let's just say, for a rough example, you know, you were doing this on your own, you didn't want that many people. You would still need some, right? So let's just say you would need around 4 people to do this for you, okay? To 4 people to run this on the back end. You need definitely a manager who kind of knows how to do this, set it up, you know, coordinate all this stuff. And then you definitely need like the people just answering phones on a day-to-day basis and things like that. So let's just say you have 4 people. Let's just say, you know, a rough salary of someone to do this kind of work is, say, $40,000 for the year. Again, this is really just a rough number, but it's just to put it into perspective for you. So four people at $40,000 for the year. Let's say that this system right here would cost you 160 grand for the year, okay? Now, of course, I kind of lowered it down and just saying you have 4 people, you have access to 45 that are ready, willing, and able to work for you at any given time, 24 hours a day. So 160 grand is about a rough value that you would need for a year to have anything like this. Of course, you're not going to pay anything remotely close to that for a year with Pacific. That's the whole point of our franchise system, is we figured out how to roll all this up into one convenient price that's actually affordable for you while giving you maximum service and maximum potential for growth. So that's the whole point of our franchise system. So towards the end of the video, we're going to break down and give our exact cost of everything and show you how beneficial and how much money it could actually save you by investing in a franchise system. So let's move on to part 2 of our video. All right, so the second main thing I want to go over with you guys that you'll get as a Pacific franchise owner is the advertising and marketing services that we provide on the back end. So probably the biggest and most basic thing on the back end that we're going to do would be for the website. So you do not need to worry about building, maintaining, checking, improving, fixing any type of website. We have a full website built that is specific to each area that you're in and servicing. So if you're in, I'll just keep saying Jacksonville, Florida, we'll build a whole section of our website just for Jacksonville, Florida. So a customer comes on, visit our website, it appears as if we're in Jacksonville, Florida, ready to go for service right away. All that's built on the back end for you. The website also contains so much information for customers to look up as far as irrigation, lighting, drainage, holiday lighting. Everything is already done and constantly being manipulated and adjusted by us. So you do not need to worry about any of that. Part of our website, like I said earlier, is going to be, we have live chat, we have messages right from the website, we have online scheduling, so a customer could go on at 1 a.m., schedule. Online payments, so if they owe you money, $400 for a job that you did, they can log on right online, do a payment, it goes right to your bank account. Any type of payment that comes in goes right to your business bank account. We don't touch the money's yours. So that's a separate part of this video, but I want to make that clear. So the website, although it sounds simple and a lot of people have websites, ours is very unique and very advanced for the irrigation or any type of service business. So the second kind of thing, and they're in no particular order, but just as I'm thinking about them, is Google, okay, or any type of platform that picks up customers. So Home Advisor, Angie's List, whatever. There's a bunch of different platforms that we're using now, but Google being the main one. So just Google in itself. If you were to go start your business, or if you're already in your business, you know how much of a pain Google can be. Google is very smart, so they're going to take your money if you don't do your ads the right way. If you try and do this on your own, not saying that you can't, but it's very hard. It takes constant monitoring. You almost can't even work in the field because you need to spend all day monitoring this and handling this, or else they're going to drain your whole account. So very complex. We do so much work on here. It would be a whole separate segment to explain that. So this is kind of like to get new customers coming into the business. We put up the ad on all these different platforms. We monitor them. They come to our website. From our website, they either call us or they schedule right there. Very fast and easy. Boom, customer came in. Next thing you know, it's on your schedule. Okay, it's a seamless system that's developed specifically for the irrigation business. Then, of course, we have our current customers, which we're constantly doing marketing to, such as promotions, emails, like upsells. So if, say, new Wi-Fi timer came out, whatever just came out, the HydroWise recently or whatever it is, they made a better model. So we'll take our database of around 40,000 people. So 40,000 people. Around 40,000 customers in our database. Okay, we'll send them all out emails saying, hey, we got this new HydroWise timer. Schedule if you have any friends or if you have anyone else. We're in Jacksonville, Florida now. Tell them about this, receive a coupon. We're constantly juggling around coupons in between customers if they refer us to someone. The point of the whole thing is to bring in as much work as possible for you. So understand that this is a perfected system that's just going to grow you faster than if you were doing it on your own. So just like we did with the first part of scheduling and customer service, I want to put a rough number or a total value on these advertising and marketing services. What would you pay if you were to go out and do this on your own? For Google, you would need to pay a team to do that. So let's just say a rough number, I don't know, you need to pay one person for a year to do Google. That person's got to be kind of smart. Let's say that you're going to pay them $60,000 to sit here and monitor this every day. If you don't monitor it every day, you're gonna burn through money. So let's just say you pay someone 60 grand. Then you have to actually run your ads. So let's say the number of $25,000. This is what you need to pay Google. This is what you need to pay the person monitoring Google. So let's say this costs you around $85,000 for the year. Let's also say you have to have someone else doing this and monitoring this and maybe playing with the website or something like that. I don't know. Let's say this is another $10,000. Completely rough numbers, completely making them up as I go, but you get the whole point of what I'm doing. So 60, 25, 85, $95,000. So the total value of something like this is gonna be about $95,000 for the year. Again, you're not paying anything remotely close to any number on here for this for the year. So that's the benefit of the franchise system, just like the first part. And let's get into step number 3 or part number 3, and we'll keep moving forward. Okay, so the third type of service that you're going to get as Pacific Lawn Sprinklers franchise is you're going to get a full-blown sales department working behind you. So this is a little different than the first step of the customer service representatives. Remember the 45 people that you'll have basically working for you. This is kind of a separate department that we have that is going to focus on more larger jobs for you. So if you have a larger renovations, larger installations, stuff like that that requires a little more TLC in the scheduling and the organization, setting up of the jobs, that team is going to do it right there. The estimating's a little more advanced, the prices are higher, so we try and push that to a separate department so it's looked at very carefully to, again, try and save you money and try and make you money. So the first kind of part of the sales department, what they really do is, again, we're big on scheduling, okay? So with the scheduling, you need to mark out, let me just write it for you here, right? You need permits, okay? So permits are take a while to file, okay? Depending where you are, some areas they don't require a permit for the job. Every area requires a mark out. Permits are sometimes difficult. Sometimes you need special plumbing things, you need home improvement, you need DEP licensing, you need irrigation licensing, you need, depending what state you're in, what kind of licensing, it all needs to kind of bundled up and put into a permit, and then needs to be called in for inspection afterwards, again, depending on area. So there's a lot of work here. Again, if you're trying to do this on your own, it's very hard to be out there in the field, pumping in the installation and then somehow figuring out all the stuff on the back end. And if you hire someone to do it, first off, you're gonna need to research how to do it, you're gonna need to train them, you're gonna need to do all this type of crazy stuff. We do all the research, we do all the stuff on the back end. Again, we want you to focus on the field work and making money. So that's kind of like the first part of what the sales department does in there. The second part of what they do is pretty much actual sales, right? Makes sense, okay? So with that meaning, there's a lot of customers, say you're spending $6,000 on a new system. Customers have a lot of questions on this system. They're not just gonna spend the money right away, depending on how it's going with the sales process. So they'll call in, they'll get someone from the sales department, we'll try and explain the estimate to them the best that we can. If they wanna make some adjustments, say remove one zone, add one zone, whatever it is, we'll try and work with them to do it. If they have special financing issues, we offer financing through a separate company. So if they wanna finance it, say pay it over 3 years, we'll set all that up for them, get that rolling. So again, that money gets paid to you right away, you get the job, you get scheduled right on track. Also with sales, we have automated sales that go out, automated sales calls. So say you give an estimate on Tuesday and you're busy working in the field, you don't have time to call that person and try and follow up and say like, hey, we had a good meeting, are we gonna schedule this job or what's going on? So we have automated calls that go out for that, full system built to call these people and contact them and try and sell you the job. All right, you never just want to give an estimate and leave it there and never follow up on it. You need to follow up. The third kind of thing is, well, kind of ties into this, but like backflow. So we have a huge database of customers that we're constantly doing recurring backflow services for. So many states require testing of the backflow device annually, or testing as soon as a new one is put in or repaired or anything like that. So that testing, that paperwork needs to be submitted usually to the water department or the city, whatever it is. So this department is going to process all of that paperwork. If you're licensed, we're going to get you licensed to test backflows. So once you have your license, we'll process all the paperwork, we'll send it all out to the proper water authorities, we'll contact the customer, we'll do all that on the back end. So we have some franchises that are doing a couple thousand backflow tests a year along with their regular maintenance contracts and stuff like that. So you're building up a recurring revenue. If I haven't said it enough, the whole point is to save you time, energy, and make you as much money as possible. So that's the summary for the sales department. Okay, so just as we did in the other steps and the other benefits of Pacific, I would like to put a total value on this and say what it's roughly worth. So to have a full team that's basically just going to focus on larger jobs, more specific jobs, more delicate jobs, they're going to follow up on sales for you. They're going to submit all your backflow tests. They're going to call for markouts. They're going to call for permits. Let's just come up with a rough number. So if you were to just say pay one person a year to do this, we have multiple people in there, but if you were to pay one person to do this, so let's say person needs to kind of have some knowledge of irrigation. They need to be able to do research on this. They need to be kind of good with their words to kind of help speak to these larger jobs and larger customers spending more money. So they need to be pretty good like that. So let's just say a rough number is you need to pay someone, let's just say again $60,000 to sit there and do this. So you need to first find the person, solidify their hours, solidify their sick days, solidify their insurance, all the things they want to work for you. Then you need to train them. Then you need to tell them what to research. Then you need to review the research. Then you need to follow up on them if they need to move a mark out or get a mark out or file a permit. You need to basically help them along with every sale. So if you hire someone on your own, it's going to be kind of difficult for you. You can do it. It's going to take you some time. We already have the system in place. That's the whole point of this video. That's the whole point of the franchise. So total value around 60 grand. Let's move on to step number 4. The fourth part of this video, and one of the other benefits you're going to get of owning a Pacific franchise, is you're going to get access to our completely customized software. So a very important thing is going to be the pricing that's actually built into your software or your service system. So by software, I mean the tablet that you're going to use every day when you're out in the field. It's customized. Everything in there is customized specifically by us, by our team, by all our irrigation franchises, technicians. It's all customized to be as fast, easy, and efficient as possible when you're out there actually doing service. So as far as pricing, when suppliers raise their prices every year, or manufacturers, your price also needs to increase. So we'll go in and we'll increase or decrease whatever it is, each individual price, to make sure that you're profitable every year or every season. We'll also make adjustments. So we'll look at your overall profitability as a company and we'll say, hey, like this guy, he could be making more money. What's going on? So we're constantly looking at these things. We're monitoring. We want you guys to make money. So that's a great portion of our software is the pricing. So with the pricing, we have about 10,000 items in our software system built. Of course, you don't need to use all 10,000 on a daily basis. Anything that you could possibly imagine is in this system because we've had to use it all through the years. So behind all the software, as I'm describing, it's a lot of research. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of dedication from our team. The other cool thing about our software is that one of the biggest things we always tell our guys is how important it is to actually collect payment on site when you do the work. We collect all payments on site and we make it fast and easy for the customer to come right there, come to our tablet, press a couple buttons, boom, payments made right there. So it's really fast and easy. So that's kind of like the front end of our software, meaning the end that customers that you'll kind of use on your day-to-day. The back end of the software that you're going to get is like your back end financial reports. So I'll reinforce again, I think I said it in an earlier segment here, but any money that comes in to your business, like any parts that you sell or jobs that you do, the money goes directly into your bank account. I want to make that clear again. We don't touch the money. I don't know why a lot of guys think like we have some type of play in that. Like you're your own business. We're just monitoring you on the back end. But the software system, since it's taking in these payments from the customers and these parts and it's generating full reports, it'll basically give you financial statements. It'll show you, how much money people owe you, which is called your AR, accounts receivable. It'll all kind of work together from the field to the back end. It'll show you AP, meaning if you went and bought some material from Site 1 and they sent you a bill, you'll get access to it right there. You'll be able to look at it very fast and easy. You'll be able to pretty much look up anything, any type of customer account, anything about the customer if you're going to. It's all saved and built in this software, and you have access to anything you possibly want to see about your own finances. We'll even track like sales closing rates. So if you want to say like, hey, like what's going on? I don't feel like I'm closing that many sales recently or anything like that, you can look at all your sales and anything like that. So like I said, we've been developing this for probably 30 years. There's a lot of software systems out there now that can be used for service businesses. Of course, you need to take that software and you need to completely customize it yourself. And hopefully it works. I'm sure you could get it to work at some point. It takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication, and a lot of constant monitoring. So this is a very brief description of our software. It could probably be described in a lot more detail, but just know that the software runs our entire business. It runs your entire franchise. So it's extremely sophisticated. It has a lot of ins and outs, a lot of stuff that just works automatically in the back end that you don't really need to worry about. But it really, really helps keep customers happy, get you paid, get the right price for the job, and just keep track of your entire business. So we've tried to have other companies build the software for us. We've hired people, we've hired several different software companies throughout the time, but now we started doing it all in-house on our own. Okay, so a rough total value that this is gonna cost you for 1 year if you were trying to do this on your own, monitor it, fix it, and all that. It's kind of hard to come up with, but let's just say 2,000 bucks, okay? And that's just, don't forget about all the time. It's not just paying for, a type of software. You need a lot of time. So for 1 year, I'm just completely throwing a number out there. Let's just say it costs you 2,000 bucks. It might cost you a lot more to do anything remotely close to this, but let's just use it as the example for this. So let's jump into part 5 now. Okay, so the 5th thing that we'll go over is the bookkeeping services that we provide, which is basically keeping track of your finances for you. So we're gonna do pretty much a couple of main things here. So like I described previously, we're gonna handle your AR. So this is accounts receivable. If people owe you money, we're gonna keep track of it. We have automated calls and collection calls that go out to these people to try and get your money for you. Again, money goes into your bank account. We're just there on the front end trying to facilitate all that for you, okay? So AR, we'll track it, we'll take care of it. AP, so that's accounts payable, okay? So whether you owe a supplier, you owe your insurance company, you owe, you have to renew your license, your backflow license, you owe any other cost of doing business for your truck, for your machine, for your trailer, for fixing your truck, anything like that. You're gonna swipe your business credit card out in the field. We're gonna look at the statement, we're gonna process it, we're gonna allocate everything where it needs to go so it's properly set up when you need to file your taxes at the end of the year. We're gonna basically handle all that for you and paint a nice picture for the accountant of everything laid out nice and clear, so you don't need to worry about tracking any of that stuff. It all goes in to our system. So the bookkeeping is definitely a lot more complex than just receiving money and paying out bills, but that's really the gist of it. There's a lot more involved behind this to actually keep it organized, and if you ever tried to do it on your own and keep track of it, there's a lot to keep track of. So our team is here doing that for all our other franchises. We try and make it quick and easy for you so you can just kind of log on, look at your bank account, figure out, clearly see what bills you have, what bills need to be paid, and we'll kind of automate that whole process for you. All right, so as far as bookkeeping, a total value on that would basically be, what would it cost you to pay someone for the year who has some knowledge of finances, accounting, balancing books, budgets, who's organized, something like that. What would it cost you to have one person for the year do that for you if you were to have your own business? Because it's something that's extremely important, right? You have to train that person, and you need to keep track of them, right? It's your money, so you need to constantly be watching it. But with our system, you can see everything on the back end very easily, very clear. So for one person for a year, I don't know, just to do something like this, maybe you could have a part-time person, right? So it won't cost you as much. So let's just say it was $25,000 for the year to pay someone to do this, okay? And keep track of this and take care of your finances. So that's it for bookkeeping. Let's move on to part number 6, which is our final part, which is going to be training. All right, so to put a total value on training and support is very hard, okay? So I'm just gonna mark it down as priceless, okay? Reason being is that there's a team here of many people who've been doing irrigation for decades, okay? And you have access to those people to their knowledge, to their advice, to anything you want from just, a phone call, an email. You can get in touch with anyone right away. So to be able to, model these kind of people who've been successful with their franchise or successful in the irrigation business, and have them help you along to build your business and give you all the knowledge, not just on the actual irrigation work, but on the business, on how to sell, on things like that. To have access to that at your fingertips is just priceless. And, it's going to be the difference that separates, you from another, guy in the irrigation business out there, is you have a full team behind you supporting you to grow. And it's not here to be, breathing down your neck, giving you a hard time. We don't do that kind of stuff, but it's all meant for your growth. Okay guys, so here's a summary of everything we reviewed so far. We're saying that your total value of scheduling and customer service was around 160 grand. We're saying that your advertising, if you were to go out and do it on your own, would cost you around 95 grand for the year. These are all costs for the year. Again, rough numbers. We're saying to have a dedicated sales department, a few people working in there, would cost you around 60 grand for the year. Software, rough number of around 2 grand. Bookkeeping, around 25 grand to have a team taking care of your finances like that. And of course, training, like I said, can't really put a number on. So the total value of all these services, if you were to go out and try and do this on your own and have this kind of team and this kind of system behind you, adding all this up would cost around $342,000, okay, for 1 year to have some type of system as efficient as we have. So that's just a rough number. But again, like I said, the whole point of the franchise is you're not going to pay anything close to that. In fact, you're not even going to pay anything close to 100 grand. You're not going to pay anything close to 100 at all. Okay, so the rough cost to you as the franchise owner for the first year out to have all this stuff working behind you and a full team to help excel your business is going to be approximately $35,000. So 35 grand to basically have all of this done for you and set is basically less than you would have to pay even one employee here, one employee here, one employee here, one employee here for the year. So again, the reason that we have it at such a low cost compared to the value that you're getting is because we have so many franchises paying into the system that we're able to kind of reduce the cost per guy because we have everyone, paying into it. So we all utilize the same system. It's kind of a revolving door and it's constantly getting utilized, and it's really, really efficient and really, really perfected throughout the years. So we believe in our system. Well, we know it works. We have about 50 franchises, out right now operating for many years now. So we believe in it. We're confident in our pricing, and we're ready and willing to answer any questions you possibly have on any of this stuff or any of the pricing. And another cool thing that I always really recommend anyone interested in a franchise to do would be, reach out to us and you could speak to any one of our current franchise owners. If you want to talk to a real guy who's out there in the field doing it every day, paying these fees, having all this stuff working for them, ask them about our advertising, ask them how the scheduling is, ask them what the sales department does, ask them how we, help with the bookkeeping and the finances. Ask them all these questions and I guarantee you they're going to give you the same answers that I kind of spoke to you about earlier. So we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to answer any questions you have. We're an open book, so feel free to reach out to us anytime. You could probably click something below. I'll put something for you that you can contact us. Contact us right away. We'll do a quick and easy call, no pressure. We'll go over any questions that you have. All right, guys, so thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate it. My name is Steve, Pacific Lawn Sprinklers franchise, and we'll hear from you guys soon. Thank you.